all I wanna say is that they don't really care about us. Cause all they really want to do is just to get in touch with big bucks. Cause they think that the money gives them the power. But the power...
Ijebu land and its collapsing infrastructure. Ogun State in southwestern Nigeria was carved out of the old western state on February 3rd, 1976, 43 years ago, with its capital in Abeokuta. It is made up of 6 ethnic groups: Egba, Ijebu, Remo, Egbado, Awori, and Egun. The Ijebu territory is bounded in the north by Ibadan, in the east by Ondo and Okitipupa, in the west by Remoland, and in the southern part, the Atlantic Ocean, with the coastlines of Epe, Ejiri, and Ikorodu. Despite the political division, which has these 3 towns of Epe, Ejiri, and Ikorodu in Lagos State, while the main part of Ijebu land remains in Ogun State, the people have always regarded themselves as one entity. The major towns in Ijebu are Ijebu Ode, Ijebu Igbo, Agoiwoye, Ilishon, Ijebu Ososa, Imode, Ijebu Epe, Imosan, Ijebu Owu, Ikorodu, Ijebu Ife, Ijebu Moshe, Ijebu Waterside, Odogbolu, and Ayepe. With a population of 815,681 residents, 2006 census, the primary occupation of the people is agriculture, and 80% of the total land area is arable. The vegetation is mostly suitable for the cultivation of cash crops such as oil palm, cocoa, rubber, kola nut, teak, raffia palm, cotton, cassava, timber, and other food crops like pineapple, citrus, banana, plantain, maize, cowpea, cocoyam, yam, fruits, beans, rice, as well as seafoods and livestock. The land is also blessed with abundant mineral resources, including kaolin, clay, silica, sand limestone, oil, bitumen, chalk, phosphate, high-quality stones, and gravels for construction works. Believed to be the largest ethnic group in Nigeria, the Ijebus were the first people to have had contact with the Europeans in the 14th century, and the first to acquire Western education. According to history, the European observers find them more intelligent than the other groups in Nigeria, as they were the first to manufacture steel hardwares, especially weapons, in the history of Nigeria, and contend the slavery extortion in the region. Shrewd and enterprising race, the Ijebus were also the first people to invent money made from cowrie shell, later made coins called Pandoro, which became acceptable through Africa and Europe. Legends have it that the history of an Ijebu woman, Bilikisu Shigbo, was equal to the biblical queen of Sheba as wife to King Pharaoh. In contemporary history, the industry of Ijebu people is incontestable, as found in the exploits of great businessmen like Chief Adeola Odutola and of recent Mrs. Folorunsho Alakija, Otumba Mike Adenuga, to mention a few. Also, in other fields of human endeavor, Ijebu boasts of the likes of late Professor Adebayo Adedeji, Otumba Shibomi Balogun, late Chief Hubert Ogunde, and many notable others. Despite all these God-given natural and human resources, Ijebu has yet to claim its rightful place among its contemporaries. No thanks to the dearth of industries and near collapse of infrastructure needed for the overall development of the area. Nearly all infrastructure in critical sectors like road, education, water supply, electricity, health, and so on have collapsed and are going through decay. This is not to say that successive governments have not tried their best possible, but the pace of development is not commensurate with the status of Ijebu and its people, especially in the past few years. The Apoje farm has been grossly abandoned and is now in a state of disrepair. It is very regrettable that such a gigantic project could be allowed to rot. Power. It is bizarre to note that in this modern age, a town in Ijebu land called Imodi, which happens to be an agrarian community, has been in darkness without electricity since 2003. Many parts of Ogun Waterside, and indeed other areas in the state, are also suffering same fate of either no power supply at all or epileptic supply of power, including the university town of Agoiwe. Health. Health, they say, is wealth. On health facilities and health care delivery, we make bold to say that there is no standard health facilities in Ijebu land to take care of health challenges facing our people. Where we have health centers, drugs are not usually available, and to worsen the situation is shortage of competent medical and health care personnel. Sports development. Sports is another climb that can alleviate certain social problems and in modern times be a money spinner. Apart from its recreational advantages, sports have provided means of livelihood to quite a number of both the able-bodied and the physically challenged, but the sector is in ground zero in Ijebu area. The case of Gateway International Stadium in Ijebu, which was the toast of FIFA during the Under-17 Championship hosted by Nigeria in 2009, readily comes to mind. The edifice is now a ghost of itself, fit only for social events. Tourism. Tourism is another area which had been neglected and a very vital area where we need to invite our people at the helms of affairs in government to have another look at. This is another area which, with sound policy, would unlock the hidden potentials of our land. Ijebu Kingdom is blessed with quite a number of tourist attractions, such as the Obanta Shrine, Birikisu Shungbo Eredo, Dipodino International Stadium, J4 Forest Reserve, the Ijebu Shrine, Agemo, Obirin Ojowu and Ojude Oba Festival, Yemoji Natural Swimming Pool, and Iwopin, Ebute Oni Boat Regatta in Ogun Waterside. This area, if well managed and opportunities therein properly harnessed, would turn the fortune of our land for good. Social services. Talking about social services is just like thinking of an El Dorado. Public water taps are as good as relics, and it is doubtful if some children of secondary school age know what is called public pipe-borne water. People had since been helping themselves with boreholes and wells as means of getting potable water. The dirty state of Ijebu land is another case study. The environmental condition is not only filthy, but harbinger of infectious diseases, if not controlled. The worst scenario is always experienced during environmental sanitation days, when heaps of refuse take over the major streets and other strategic locations. These and many more are the tasks before the incoming administration in Ogun State. These are the challenges of the legendary Ijebu race. Inasmuch as government cannot provide for everything needed by the citizenry, there are some basic amenities that are within the purview of a responsible and responsive government. This is the main concern of the Ijebu Congress and our sacred vow to call on respective players to play their part and let us realize the Ijebu land of our dream. This is our clarion call. Ijebu land must rise again. Ijebu land must occupy its rightful place in the committee of clans within the nation. We must collectively aspire to achieve this onerous task and leave a lasting legacy for our children and incoming generation. Let us all rise and make Ijebu land work. The legacies of the heroes past are not being maintained, and only lip service have been paid to new ones. Roads, rural and infrastructural development is an important aspect of government which should be dear to the heart of any well-meaning administration. This is because no economy can truly develop if its infrastructural base is weak. Worst hit in this sector is road network, as most of the transportation infrastructure is in very poor condition. Across the length and breadth of Ijebu land, quite a number of federal, state, local and rural roads are in state of disrepair. A trip round Ijebu towns reveals complete neglect of most roads which are not motorable, and in some cases nothing but death traps. This has resulted in hardship and discomfort for the people as it greatly affects their economic lives. Particular mention must be made of some major roads that are of huge economic significance. Chief among these roads are Ijebu, Ajibandele, Araromi Road, constructed by Kopek during the Obasanjo administration, but now completely destroyed by incessant traffic flow of heavy-duty vehicles, mostly that of the Dangote Group. Another road that is crying for attention is the Ileshan-Agoiwoye Road, which was started about 10 years ago by the administration of Otumba Gbenga Daniel, but now completely abandoned. This road bypasses the Olabisi Onabanjo University. In Ijebu, aside the township roads, which are potholes-ridden and regularly flooded, the Ijebu by Old Ondo Road, Okeowa, Ijebu-Mushin, Itele Road, though under construction, must be given priority attention. The Erunwatan Ijebu-Igbo Road also needs quick intervention. Others are the Idowa, Ala, Omu, Ketu, Ejinri Road, Ijebu-Ode, Idowa, Imodi Jasi, Ilado, Ibefun, Itoikin Road, which links Ijebu to Lagos via Ikorodu. Mention must also be made of Ibefun, Eyenwa, Odogbolu Road, which was inaugurated by General Oladipupo Dia's administration and had since been abandoned. Economy. In order to fully tap the natural resource which it has pleased God to endow us with and exploit it to the fullest, the Olokola Free Trade Zone, consisting of the OK Deep Sea Port, which is reputed to be one of the deepest in the continent, needs to be revisited. The said free trade zone was meant to bring about industrial revolution in refinery and fertilizer production. What Ijebu land and of course the whole of Ogun State and indeed the whole of Southwest, not to talk of Nigeria, lost in the abandonment of the Olokola project was monumental. Education. The Ijebu nation boasts of about 15 tertiary institutions, which include OSU, OOU, TASWED, the first university of education in Nigeria, Babcock University, Hallmark University, Southwest University, Oscotec, etc. It is, however, regrettable that Ogun State pupils and students study in tears and pains for lack of conducive environment for learning. Having expended billions of naira on the construction of about 28 model schools, none has commenced academic activities despite the September 2014 deadline promised by the outgoing governor. Agriculture. It is very regrettable that no agricultural farm settlement was built after the ones established in the First Republic. Only lip service has been paid in the area of agriculture, which was promised to be a specific area of focus of the government that can lead to industrialization and a credible means of creating much-needed jobs, particularly for the unemployed youths. The Apoje Farm in Ijebu, founded by the Western Nigerian government in 1959, during the tenure of late Chief Obafemi Awolowo as the premier, is another gold mine in ruins. It became Ogun State asset through the creation of the states by the federal government of Nigeria in 1976. It has 8,764 hectares acquired area of land, in which 3,764 was initially planted with oil palm, cocoa, and citrus to yield agricultural produce that can feed the whole of Ogun State, if not even western
the money
Nigeria.
gives them the power, but the power is nothing if your people cannot get quality education.